Hey, Dustin.
Sebastian, how you doing today?
All right, nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you as well. I'll introduce you to my co-host, Ton.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm really excited. Let's get started. Let's talk about this new book, 18 in Life on Skid Row. What made you decide to finally write this story?
Well, I was contacted by HarperCollins, the book publishers, like 4 years ago. They were interested in me doing a book. And at first they wanted me to have like a ghostwriter, a co-writer, and I wasn't interested in that. So they said, okay, smarty pants, well, if you want to write it yourself, let's see if you can write. So I locked myself in my room and wrote like 25 pages that I thought was cool, and I submitted it to them, and they thought it was very good. And they said, okay, you can write your book. And so that got me really excited to do it. And it took me 4 years to do it, but it's finally done, and it's very thick, has a lot of pictures, so I'm pretty proud of it.
So that whole period, 80s, early 90s, I mean, there's a lot of wild stuff going on in rock at that time. Was it hard to remember all the stuff that happened? Is that maybe why it took 4 years?
Oh, I said, what are you gonna write about? I said, why don't you write about the stories when you tell people that, like over dinner or whatever, that make them go, oh my God, or are you serious? And once I wrote a bunch of those down, it was like 450 pages. And then I made it into like having a beginning and an end, and dynamics, and good parts and bad parts, and there's all sorts of different emotions in the book, and I'm proud of it at the end result.
Well, yeah, obviously you guys Skid Row touring with Pantera and Guns N' Roses and all these bands, so obviously there wouldn't be any shortage of material for the book.
No, we had a lot of touring, and when I was done, and HarperCollins said, "Okay, you're done." I go, wait! I forgot the Van Halen tour, because we opened up Skid Row, the whole Balance tour in America. Sammy Hagar's last tour with Van Halen. And I forgot to write about that. So it's a wild book when you forgot the Van Halen tour.
So
that's a pretty wild book.
Yeah, big time. So Dusty and I saw you, I think, last year here in Mankato, and I mean, you essentially look and sound exactly the same now as you did back then. What's the secret? What's the big secret here?
That's nice of you to say. We just actually did a book signing like a couple days ago in St. Louis. I think Changing Hands, is that the name of the place?
Sure.
It was a great time. But what's the secret? I think the secret is rock and roll. There's some, it's like a cliche, rock and roll keeps you young. When I see like Mick Jagger, who's like 100, and he's like so skinny and running around the stage, and like Steven Tyler or Joe Perry, these guys look so amazing. I think there's something about the spirit of rock and roll, and the aerobics of being on stage certainly help you stay kind of healthy and young. Yeah. Maybe after the show's not too healthy, but doing the show is healthy.
So I've got to ask, you ended up with a somewhat substantial acting career. Trailer Park Boys, awesome. That was amazing to see you show up in that. Also, the Gilmore Girls, I'm actually a pretty huge fan of that. Talk to us about some of those things. Even specifically, what was it like in the Gilmore Girls playing in a band? I think one other guy maybe had musical talent, or like, what was that like?
Well, that's a big show. People really dig it. It's on Netflix, of course. Everybody enjoys it. And we just came back after 10 years, of course, which was really an amazing experience to be able to go through. So it's a good chemistry on there. The writing is amazing, and you know, I get noticed walking around town for the Gilmore Girls as much as anything else. So I for some reason, I'm lucky to be able to do these different kind of things. And then writing a book is a whole different thing. So I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky.
Yeah, it seems like there's almost that population out there that might not have known you for your music somehow, but they know you as an actor. So you kind of have like two careers going on.
That is true. And we just did like 40 shows in America, so, like 20 of them with Buck Cherry. And between, I see like a lot of Hep Alien shirts or Luke's Diner shirts. And between songs, like I'll sing that a few times I've been around that track, and it's not gonna happen like that. I ain't no hollaback girl. That's what I sing in the Gilmore Girls, and the whole crowd starts singing it with me. So we are getting fans from the Gilmore Girls at the rock shows, which is pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a major lack of cool frontmen these days, in our opinion. What are your thoughts on the rock scene and frontmen today?
I agree with you. I think a lot of that has to do with musicians nowadays recording with so much computer technology that it's almost impossible to feel their real soul. Like on a Skid Row song, like 18 in Life, or I Remember You, or Monkey Business. That's really the sound that was coming out of my mouth. It's not Pro Tools or computers or anything like that. They didn't exist then. So, and same obviously with all our favorite records from the 70s and the 80s. You know, before computers came in the scene and recording. I think that's why we can't find any good frontman, because we can't hear them. Behind all this technology, and everything sounds too perfect. You know, like human beings aren't perfect. You know.
Yeah, it does seem like nowadays, still the big ticket shows, you know, like a Guns N' Roses or a Metallica or all these bands that were big back in the day. It doesn't seem like there's anyone that's coming to kind of replace those guys and pick up the slack.
I think when you record an album and you go to sing and you can give a half-ass take, and then the producer or the engineer puts it on his laptop and adjusts it so it's like sounds like a good take, but it really is a bad take. That's like the opposite of the way we used to make records. We used to sing it 100 times or however many times it took until we found the magic, the most amazing take that we could do. And that's like the opposite way of recording. So maybe we know how to do it better than relying on a computer to help us. I think that when you have to do it on your own, you develop better skills, obviously.
Sure. Well, we know that you have your own stuff going on musically, and as you mentioned, you just came off tour, but we've heard rumblings of Skid Row maybe looking to get you back in the fold. Have you heard anything like that? Or?
No, I'm sorry to tell you. It was looking good. I was hearing good things from my manager, Rick Sales, but it's kind of gone cold as of late. Maybe you could get those guys on your station and ask them what's the problem.
We'll ask him. What's the deal?
I don't know.
Awesome, man. Again, huge fans, and obviously the music and the acting career, and it's been great talking with you today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support, guys. Talk to you again soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.